good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to yet another TC Talks podcast. I'm joined tonight, as usual, by the my wingman. I'm going to call him my wingman.
I'll be. What's his face?
I actually thought you were going to start singing. I'll be ready.
I'll be ready. No, I'm not going. I can't do that.
I thought that's where you were going to go down on that route. Sorry for your ears, everybody out there. Then, I mean, I couldn't hear it because I think I'm of that age where the frequency hasn't quite registered on me. But next door's dog is going mental right now, so apologies. But yeah, as usual, I'm joined by Stu, Jay, and Jason.
Hello.
Down in the bottom. How is everybody doing? Is everybody well?
Yeah, not so bad.
Yeah, the usual introductions today is going to be, what did you have on your pancakes? Because today we're recording this on Shrove Tuesday. If you're listening to this on the pod world, I like to think that Stu has had some gluten-free pancakes.
Indeed, yes.
And did you have any gluten-free toppings on those?
Nutella, woo! That's all I had.
Have you seen my pancake?
No, I haven't even really looked at Discord, to be honest. I had six of them, if that helps.
6? Wow.
Yeah.
You real man.
Go big or go home.
This is true. I mean, yeah. It's like literally. Yeah. Jason, what did you have on yours? Or have you had some?
I had them at 7:30 this morning. I had Nutella and banana.
Nutella and banana. And Jay, come on.
I'm more of a purist when it's the thinner pancakes.
Oh, are you a sugar and lemon?
Sugar and lemon when I have the thinner ones.
Nice. Well,
when I have chunkier ones, I tend to do more with them, but I had the more crepe style today.
Bacon and
very nice.
syrup.
Yeah, chunky ones. Chunky ones, you've got a bit more flexibility. I love Nutella, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I usually lemon and sugar for me. That's what I had.
I had 2 with my dinner with Max, and they were golden syrup and lemon. Very good flavour combination, I must add. And then we had some after Max had gone to bed. You know, obviously the parents will play, and that's when I had a double layer.
Whiskey.
Oh, yeah, just whiskey, just drenched. We had a double layer of Nutella and banana, and then a pancake. So pancake, Nutella, banana, pancake, Nutella, banana.
See that sounds nice.
Very nice.
Oh my! I just eat them.
Oh, you eat them like easy,
like a fajita.
Oh yeah,
easy then with the hand actions there.
There's a print screen if you wanted one.
Yeah. Oh dear. We've got people coming in the chat already. Shinobi Nando said British pancakes are just crepes. Don't at me. You're obviously not making them right if you're just getting crepes. Because our ones were like thick, fluffy ones.
I'm assuming they're comparing them to perhaps what Americans have, which are Scotch pancakes. Last time I checked, Scotch is Britain. So 1-0. 1-0. Shinobi
Moving on to the
Nando.
news. Danish pancakes, apparently. Even worse. Not even
they're
like...
all just my pancakes.
Just to point out, Shinobi Nando is from Canada.
The
land of Canada.
Danish ones like balls.
Yeah.
They're nice.
Yeah. We could get onto a food chat. Maybe we should do a food pod one week. Big, fluffy and savoury. No, now you're going about savoury. Your pancake should be sweet and your crepe should be savoury. That's my opinion.
Or the Scotch style can be either or. You've got a lot of flexibility with the thicker ones.
I say whatever type of day it is.
And they got the best. They got the best maple syrup, haven't they?
Yeah, they have the maple syrup.
Yeah, they got the maple syrup. It's made.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. Canada land.
They just have taps in the trees.
Yeah. Just sit underneath it. Oh,
I'd do that. I'd like that.
Like Bear Grylls when he tries to get like a drop of water out of a cactus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
Just one of those screw-in taps, and then maple syrup comes
maple
out.
syrup. Man underneath just eating straight out of the tree. I like it. So anyway, enough food talk. Let's hear what we have in the news. Stu, I'm going to put you on the spot because I know it's been a busy day in the TC offices.
Yeah,
and I know that your news isn't. I'm going to start off with a big piece of news from 2 days ago. So apparently Ariana Grande has called Sackboy: A Big Adventure on the PS5 a doozy. You wouldn't know her. She plays console. So
that's like a double whammy of.
yeah. You are literally the shrug emoji.
Was she definitely talking about the game? If she was just talking about Sackboy, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, she also gave a shout out to Mario Kart and Super Mario Party, so, judge how you will.
Good games.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my bit of news for the week. As we were talking about before, Jay, obviously the Britain update for Flight Sim has been delayed to next week now, I think, is it? Or is it this week?
No, I think it was
or
meant
has it
to be
actually
last
released?
week, and it released today. I think it got delayed to today.
Yeah, it got delayed a couple of times. It was supposed to be before Christmas, I think it was. And they delayed it to after Christmas. It was something to do with a new system that they were using to do all the work. It wasn't on Asobo's side, it was on Bing Maps' side.
Yeah, because that's how they fuel all the actual landscape and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it was almost like the Asobo API or something. The Bing Maps wasn't seeing it properly, or something along those lines. I don't know exactly. But the trailer looks brilliant. Apart from, it's got the freaking Chelsea ground in it.
I don't know what that is, but yes, the trailer does look really nice, to the point that about halfway through, I forgot I was watching Flight Sim and not just a plane flying over an ocean and looking at Stonehenge and all that business. I need to get back on that game.
Yeah, I don't know the update size of it or anything like that, but it's going to be one of those where you'll have to update it through Game Pass if you've got the Game Pass version. You have to update the launcher and then download it all again. But at least the Queen now lives in a palace and not a block of flats.
Yeah.
So it looks pretty good. Game on Scorpio, good evening. How are you doing? Has just dropped into the chat. But yeah, what other news are we talking about then?
I've got a bit of obviously Valheim is making news again.
This is true.
2 million copies sold in less than 2 weeks with 300,000 concurrent users. I
don't find that a massive number when 2 million people have bought the game. So only have 30% of those people playing it
online
at
the same time.
Yeah, I think that's quite high if you look at other games. I know some games, are probably the exception to the rule. But when you look at, if you look at more the console side, just for argument's sake, Sony celebrate when they get to like 1 million sales, which is like 1% of their install base, and that's just the sales bit, let alone people on at the same time. So I think those figures seem pretty good for I think it's an indie studio, isn't it?
It is an indie studio, yeah. And there's only some like 8 gig game as well. It's not a massive game, so
I think
it's like 1 gig.
I believe so. Oh, it was 1 gig, yeah. Yes, it is early access, so still more to come, I guess.
Yeah, because I guess a lot of people will be. Some people will absolutely hammer it, but some people will be like, "Oh, I've had my fill for now. I'll wait for the next big patch," and you get a bit of a mixture, don't you, at early access?
Obviously, it's a survival game, which is obviously our today's featured product subject. But I played it. I played it for a little while. It was okay, but it was a toss-up for me between two different survival games, and I went the other way. Obviously, I know Aaron in the team loves the game. He loves his survival mythical, and loves to beat up frogs. They're pretty much like lizards. So, you know.
Yes. Lizards. We got, this is a little console news, which I don't usually do, but it's the first case of PS5 DualSense drift lawsuit filed against Sony. So the old drift, I remember, it's massive for the Switch, even though maybe I don't play it enough to see the drift. But yeah, drift is back.
Yeah, I think it's.
I just feel like they may be just abusive towards their controllers, but it's just me.
To be fair, I did see a teardown of the pad. The same, I think, is true of the Xbox pad, but I could be wrong on that. But the DualSense uses the same internal analog stick as the old PlayStation pad.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's two rings of carbon that wear away that control the analog stick. So I'm surprised it's shown up so early, but it's kind of believable because they've not upgraded that part, and it used to cause problem for people. Not me personally, I've not had an issue, but I know plenty of people that have had the issue with the DS4. But yeah, I'm surprised it's reared its head so soon. So I don't know if some people have done some stress tests and that's how they've discovered it, or just because they know it's the same component, they've kind of jumped on it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I've got to say, the only time I've ever suffered stiff drift. Sorry, with stick drift, is literally when my kids have abused their controllers. That's the only time. The controller that I've used from like day one, absolutely fine, and that's been hammered for a lot of games. But my kids' ones, drift like buggery.
I think. Do you know what I think the problem is I don't take gaming that seriously. Apart from Rocket League, FIFA, Wreckfest, and all the other games I play. But what the thing is a lot of people take their rage out on the controller and just kind of throw it around, punch it. Abuse
on the controller. Yeah,
basically.
I don't get that.
And I think that has to count for something. Obviously, these parts in these controllers are all mechanical, so they will wear down with time. It's just natural things that happen to, everything has a point of elasticity where at some point after it's being moved in the same direction a lot of times, it's going to snap and it's going to fail. Obviously, if you start smacking these controllers, treating them like, crap, you're going to reduce that lifespan, which obviously is what's happening in a lot of issues with stick drift. Don't get me wrong, there are some people that get stick drift just on the off chance of the controller, but again, that's down to the whole fact that these are manufactured by robots. There is always going to be a limit of failure, a limit of defect in the components, which is, sure know with being a PC gamer for so long that you do get some pieces of kit that are dead on arrival.
Yeah, I've had a few of them.
And I don't know, having a stress test on a controller just kind of, I don't know, it just seems almost a bit pointless to me, because it's like, well, in the real world, how often do you... I mean, it used to be like the old N64 days when you're playing track and field and you used to have to spin the Z, like the thumbstick on the Z controller. How often would those controllers break? And they never got stick drift.
Yeah.
And you'd be there spinning it like
smacking
mad.
the hell out of it.
Yeah. And these controllers never had anything.
No.
You just got to think someone's been treating it badly somewhere.
I still remember replacing the micro switches to my little competition pro joystick when I got too ragey playing Sensible Soccer.
I think the exception to that's probably the Joy-Cons, because they are terrible. The analog stick is super thin inside, so I think there's a smaller surface of carbon that causes the issue.
Yes.
So when you actually pull one apart that is drifting, it's almost like it's gouged out a chunk of the carbon. But obviously it's so thin. So I'd say that's the exception. But yeah, personally, I've never had an issue with stick drift and stuff. The thing that always gives me grief are batteries. You know, when I had like a DualShock 3 that basically could only be wired because the battery after a while dies on it. That's probably my only concern with newer pads, is if they have a built-in battery, you're kind of limiting its life without. I mean, you can take it apart and replace them and stuff, but that's always the thing I worry about. But I've never even had a component dead on arrival, to be honest. I've always been quite fortunate.
My first graphics card that I bought for my PC was an AMD Asus card that had faulty VRAM on arrival. So yeah, bad to go back. But apart from that, yeah, I reckon Jason's broke lots of stuff.
No, I used to be the one in the neighbourhood that used to fix lots of stuff for everybody. Amazing what you can do with a bit of cardboard.
Bit of cardboard, bit of duct tape.
Oh, you believe it?
Done. Yeah. Blue tack.
I've got a bit of news for you.
Go on.
Email earlier on because I'd signed up to the test, but Amazon's big online MMO game, New World, has been pushed back from spring 2021 to the end of August. I've got to say, it actually looks a very sexy game.
It does look interesting.
It looks like a really nice version of World of Warcraft brought into like modern age.
You hope. You hope.
With lots and lots and lots of battles.
Yeah, a lot of.
I missed out on the beta of that one. I got invited into it and didn't have time to play it.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
They're doing a closed beta now later on in the year, by the looks of it.
Nice. There you go. Game on Scorpio. Played the beta. It was actually really fun.
Awesome.
There you go.
It's good. You
heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. It was actually really fun. That should be on its cover art.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Game is actually fun. But I like it. Any more news?
One I want to say is big. I've never played this game before. Some could Crash Bandicoot 4 has officially come to PC.
Yeah.
But it is by Battle.net.
Yeah,
say that again. Say that again.
It's releasing on Battle.net because it's an Activision game, isn't it?
It's an Activision game.
Yes.
Yeah. Crash is owned by Activision.
Mm.
Yeah.
The Crash games are fun. Yeah, they're fun. They're probably not for you because you're more of a multiplayer sort of guy. But these are sort of, well, the first three, of course, were PlayStation 1. I think they were 1. Maybe the third one was on PlayStation 2. Platforming sort of games. They didn't age particularly well. The remake kind of highlighted that, I think, for some people. But this is the new one that I think it only released last year, maybe. And it's a bit more of a modern platformer. It's a pretty good game.
Other news, as obviously as everybody knows, we love Game Pass here at Thumb Culture. And the next update for the Game Pass is actually a pretty good one, really. I mean, I know, Stu, you're excited.
I am actually excited about Dirt 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for me personally, I thought it was the worst Game Pass announcement, just because it's one of those ones where I happen to have a few of the games. So I looked at it and went, it's nice that people can play that, but
yeah, I mean, obviously, I think I've got Super Hot, I've got Wreckfest twice, and I've got Dirt 5 twice as well. And Code Vein, I have no interest in on the PC side of things.
Yeah, the one that does stand out for me is I've still not tried Wreckfest. So
Wreckfest is brilliant.
I've played it, I just don't own it. So I did manage to play it at Gamescom a couple of years ago. So the fact that's coming out to Game Pass, I'll probably jump on that one. Because I like old Destruction Derby games. So.
Oh, it's so much fun. So much fun.
So I'm quite happy that's landing.
Yeah.
In similar news, Microsoft also unveiled a new headset today. Hard to know exactly how it's going to be, but it's all Atmos enabled and it works on PC and Xbox and things like that. So that might solve my my headset needs, because I keep thinking I need a new headset. But I'm going to wait, I think, and see what the quality's like, because I've heard mixed things with the current Sony one from a few people. Some love it, some felt it was a bit cheap and nasty. So I'm going to see how this one sort of stands up to a bit of scrutiny, and then perhaps but the fact it works on console and PCs and phones and stuff like that, it's really good for me. It's just Bluetooth basically.
Yeah, it is definitely an interesting thing for them to actually bring out a headset like that, because I mean I don't think they generally bring out a licensed headset in the same way that Sony do. They usually go through third parties, don't they, for their...
Well, they did used to. They always used to bring out headsets, media remotes, that sort of stuff. And they used to have an official wheel. You know, they did always used to bring that stuff out.
Yeah.
Even, you know, early Xbox One. But I think up to a point they just started re-releasing them and, like you say, partnering with people and things like that.
Yeah.
The whole point of the new Xbox is everything just works on it that you already have. So I suppose they didn't feel the need to make this. But then this is supposedly, you know, according to their advert, it's all Atmos. You've got the side rotates to adjust your balance between game and party and stuff like that. So it looks really nice. Based on the the small advert and press release they announced today. I think it was only today they revealed it. But yeah, it is unusual to see one, because they don't really need to release one, because they like you say, they partner with so many people. It's all Bluetooth these days. Stuff just works. So I am quite curious to see how it stands out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Obviously, at Thumb Culture, we will reach out for review units if that's at all possible. So, you know, keep your eyes open to our social media, because, you know, let's be honest, we'll do what we can to bring a informed review to the world.
Yeah,
because that's definitely what we do. But yeah, I think that's it. I mean, it's been an interesting sort of few weeks really for news, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, I think it's a good time for gaming going forward.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think it's the quiet before the storm, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I think the two big dogs, Microsoft and Sony, are going to be fighting it out all year. Nintendo's got a lot of stuff probably secretly churning away, because they have a habit of going, "This is out tomorrow."
Yes.
So I think it's going to be a good year. Or COVID's delayed everything, and next year will be a good year instead.
Yeah, next year. Stay tuned for next year.
Yeah.
But I think how's that for your news, Stu? Are you happy? Are you happy there?
It was hard.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, like, it's nothing on my cards personally at the moment. I've had enough hardware upgrades to last me at least 2 years. So
yes, you have.
Yeah, I think that's
happy
good
days.
news.
Well, let's move swiftly on, and we'll piggyback on the back of Valheim and its 2 million views or 2 million players, and let's move on to our nice feature, which obviously today we are talking about survival games. I think really we should start off with the Wikipedia definition of a survival game, just to make sure that
research.
Research. Obviously, Wikipedia, take it or leave it with a pinch of salt, but the Wikipedia definition of a survival game. So it says, survival games are a subgenre of action video games set in hostile, intense, open-world environments. Players generally begin with minimal equipment and are required to survive as long as possible by crafting tools, weapons, shelters, and collecting resources. Many survival games are based on randomly or procedurally generated persistent environments. More recently, survival games are often playable online, allowing players to interact in a single world. Survival games are generally open-ended with no set goals and often closely related to the survival horror genre, where the player must survive within a supernatural setting, such as a zombie apocalypse.
Edited by BioMarvel 5 minutes ago.
It wasn't. If I would have thought about it, I probably should have, yeah. But I mean, obviously survival games, there is a lot of survival games, and I realised this when I did a little Google of list of survival games. And once again, it gave me a list from Wikipedia, as it would do. And the earliest survival game on this list, so pinch of salt, was the Oregon Trail in 1985.
Classic.
Which is a classic survival game.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it is. It's probably not how you define it now. Like you know, it's more text based and making decisions rather than now you'd consider it an open world that you go out and look for stuff, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Jace, survival games. I know you said earlier that it's not your overall sense of expertise, but you were using the old grey matter to try and come up with your own kind of.
See, my earliest portrayal, obviously being as young as I am, I would have said my early games such as like Dungeon Master.
I mean, how was the Oregon Trail when it first released?
Oh, Oregon, it sucked. I hated it.
When you were 20.
Yeah, no, it was. I was probably about 5 actually. No, it was boring. It wasn't my sort of game. It was dull, and like Jay said, it was very text based, and I don't think that really captured my imagination, being at the age I was.
I mean, it wasn't cars and stuff, so.
No, but crawling around the dungeon and not knowing where you're going, and having to survive and drink water and eat food and watch all your health bars and take on mummies and stuff. That was probably my first foray into maybe a survival type game.
Right, yeah.
Although obviously Wikipedia's outdone me there by saying open-ended and open world. It wasn't a dungeon, and it was sort of a mapped environment, I suppose. But you didn't know where you were going.
So we're saying that doesn't count. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for that last 2 minutes. That doesn't count on this podcast.
No, but then Robertson's Requiem in '94. Then okay, that was probably the first one, escaping an alien prison planet.
Right.
Again on an Atari ST, first person. Obviously nothing like today's standards.
You'd be worried if it was.
Well, Minecraft.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're addicted to Minecraft at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I like it, but again, I play on creative. I cheat.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Play on creative so you can fly around.
Yeah, exactly. Chopping down a tree for with a wooden axe that decomposes, and then you've got to go and make some twigs, and then
make my dream game.
I was going to say, that sounds your ideal game, Stu.
I think if you're playing all together, great fun, but not on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, obviously, at TC, we have a ongoing debate regarding the old survival games. And obviously, there are a few people on the team that absolutely love Valheim. Invited them in to play Rust, which we kind of have all recently got back onto. And they didn't like it because there was no fighting in the game. And it's like, well, you weren't rusting properly. But I think it all depends. There's so many different survival games out there for the different wants for people. Like for me, I want a realistic kind of believable survival game. So something like Rust, where it's realistic graphics in inverted commas. It's set after like a nuclear event. And all this kind of stuff. That to me is like what I look for in a survival game. So, like Stu, if you're looking for a survival game, what are your kind of tick boxes, shall we say?
Yes, my tick boxes is Rust is definitely there. I like that big, humongous map, but I also kind of like Ark. Not necessarily the dinosaur side of it, but I liked a lot of like just the way that I guess it's very similar to a lot of survivor games where you got to go and get those materials to learn. It had a different learning system of levels to what you unlock. So it's a little bit different to Rust. We got to get scrap and unlock the tiers. Ark was it, but then I did like Conan Exiles. A little bit in between the two kind of thing, and I like that idea because I just like the Conan world as well, you know. So it had a lot of that lore about it, and it had special events. Conan did, even though we were on like a PvE server. Every 3 weeks, it would be like the surge, and it'd be like enemies trying to just run it across the map. So you've got to make sure you build your base out of the way and protect it so you don't get overrun. So that was kind of cool. Every 3 weeks, you prepared yourself. So I had that little of like, you did have to, I know I love cutting down trees for several hours of the day, but you had to go, well, I need to get these materials. In 3 weeks' time, we need to be ready to defend our castle. So that was kind of cool. But I don't need any leveling system. I don't need to fight any boss. I like surviving. That's fun. That's just a fun element to it anyway, just surviving.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of like you to a degree on that, Stu. I like the making sure you're not dying from hunger.
Yes, yeah.
You know, like you go out, you have a little wander out into the wilderness to try and get supplies and stuff like that. So it's that whole preparation side of things as well. Like, right, what should I take? Right, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this axe. I'm going to take this, and everything like that. So yeah, it is good. Jay, obviously, I know you have professed that survival is light on your experience, shall we say?
Yeah, interestingly, I've had a look at this list on Wikipedia that we mentioned, and a few games do stand out there that I've actually really enjoyed. Lost in Blue on the Nintendo DS, a little series I'd forgotten about until reading this list. Loved those games. You wash up on a beach, and there's a story, but until then, you're kind of camping out on the beach and you have to learn to hunt and all that sort of stuff and build shelter. So yeah, those were fun games. Minecraft though is a big one for me. I've put hundreds of hours into Minecraft over the years because I do love Minecraft. We used to have a server. We all kind of chucked in a bunch of spare PC parts, managed to Frankenstein a PC together, had it at a mate's house who ran a server with a few mods and things, and we used to it was just on 24/7, so we could all just log in when we wanted. So sometimes it was all of us, sometimes you just quickly go on just to do something while you were had a bit of downtime. That's a big one for me. I've tried a few others. I've played 7 Days to Die, I've played How to Survive, The Forest, things like that. I just kind of get a bit bored of them, for lack of a better term. I just think with Minecraft, I always had a silly end goal, which was to build some extravagant thing. And I think that kept me engaged enough to keep me focused rather than just purely, I need to make sure I've got enough food and water and stuff. So one that has recently grabbed my attention is Grounded, which is currently in early access on Game Pass, of course. That's a lot of people will probably know it as the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game.
Yes, yeah.
And Grounded is...
I didn't know that was a survival game. My bad.
Yeah, yep. It's a lot of fun. So the principle is you are shrunk down. So ants are a mass that I think the ants are basically your size, but then things like ladybirds and spiders are even bigger, and there's birds and bees and all sorts. But the equivalent of wood is you would chop down a blade of grass, and that's how you start building your walls and things like that. So that one I've quite enjoyed. Again, though, there's a purpose, because there's a bit of a story going on and a mystery as to why exactly you're shrunk down. And
I don't want no story in mine. I'm like, nuclear blast.
But it's that's the thing though. It's optional. You don't have to ever see any of the story.
The thing that I like about Grounded is it doesn't force that story on you.
Yeah, exactly it.
And that's
It's
one
sort
thing
of
I like
things-
about Valheim.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, Valheim is
It
very
forced
much
me
do
to
this, do
stuff
that.
I didn't want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
Grounded isn't like that. You literally start off and it says, investigate this mystery item over here. But you could never go up to that if you didn't want to. You can just go,
Yeah.
oh, I found some stuff,
it
chop
does,
that down, start building.
It is worthwhile just to follow the first couple of bits because it shows you how you develop like your crafting skills and stuff like that. Like you have to analyze certain objects. So if you cut down a tree or a blade of grass, you can take a part of that blade of grass, take it to be analyzed, and then it will tell you what that blade of grass can be built into.
Yeah, and then it slowly goes from there because as you start taking out the bigger bugs, you can research them and it'll be like, oh, now you can build the axe level 2 because you've got the recipe for it from scanning. I don't know. I think it's the ladybug that you scan.
Their asses.
But yeah, it's a unique twist because it kind of does. If you reskinned it, it would just be you're chopping down trees and you fight a monster. But the concept of it being Honey, I Shrunk the Kids makes it quite fun because you'll find something and be like, oh, look at that, it's big. It's a big
like a big juice can and stuff like that.
There's
a Tic Tac bottle. There's a Tic Tac packet and stuff like that. So it is good.
It is fun. So that's probably the height for me has been Minecraft. But yeah, Grounded, I can see once they've, again, it's early access, but once they've churned out a few more updates, because there's a few moments where you might think, oh, I'm reaching a bit of a dead end with this kind of thing that I wanted to do because it's early access. But I think once they start filling in those gaps, that could be a big one.
Yeah, like I remember playing through it and getting to the end of the portion that was released right at the beginning. It's one of those where you almost want, because obviously it's free on Game Pass. If you've got Game Pass, get downloading it. But it's one of those where obviously, like you say, it develops over time. It feeds you little bits and pieces more and more as it comes through. And eventually I think it'll be a really good game.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a good game already, but you know, when it's 1.0 kind of thing.
Yeah, the actual current bit of the story, I don't know if it's the sort of current end, as it were. I've not even managed to get to yet, and I've put a few hours in with someone because you need. There's a big koi pond, and it turns out there's a secret lab underneath that, but I don't. You need to get the gear to be able to get to it. So I've only just gone, oh, there's something down there, and that's about as far as I can at the moment. So that's all I know, but it's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun. It might be worth you downloading it, Stu.
Yeah,
it's
have
free.
A look. It's free. Yeah. Free for all of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the big survival games that has been released recently is obviously No Man's Sky. That has gone. Jason's about to say something. Then I just
yeah, no. You can carry on. It's a weird game though, isn't it? Because it's like single player. I find it so dull. But if you play it with your mates, it's a really good cooperative game. You feel like you're getting somewhere. Everyone's pooling their resources. It's like a good laugh. You're working as a team. It passes the time.
Yeah, it's like Rust.
On its own, it's literally like I'm walking around,
should get
finding
Rust,
stuff.
Jason, get Rust.
I don't know if I'll like it.
Jason,
if all you guys are playing, then great.
Get Rust. We're all playing.
But on my own,
we've got our own server. You know.
Yeah.
Me and Martin were on for X number of hours today. I'm not working tomorrow, so we'll be on for X number of hours tomorrow.
Is Rust the one where you can spawn and you're in prison?
No.
What's that one?
Because there's one I read about where basically people were building prisons.
Scum.
Is it Scum?
Scum is also very good.
People were building prisons around the spawn point, and then you almost had to earn your freedom from people.
Like Shawshank, brilliant.
Yeah, Scum is it, that one?
And apparently that's really hard. That's where you've got to actually go to the toilet.
Yes, you have to wee.
Got the toilet, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is. I mean, Scum is a good game. It's just it's a bit more hardcore than Rust. In there's more things to think about.
What's the purpose of Rust? What's the purpose?
Just to survive. There is no end objective. You just survive. Like we're building our own little Thumbville community. Population 9, I think.
I think it's going to go 10 shortly. Trying to convince my mate to come on it.
Yeah, you know.
But do you not mind that you've got no end goal? You've got no kind of big overall.
That
quest,
to me is brilliant. Like, I mean, you've obviously seen the pictures of our bases and stuff like that, and our warehouse and stuff. You know, there is no end goal. You're just kind of crafting things. You know, and we're building like electricity circuits and stuff like that. You know,
but is it ever going to evolve? Is it always just going to be a tin shack? Or is it going to evolve as you play it more? Are you going to
no, it goes to like you can upgrade to stone.
Cabin, and that's all I need to survive.
You know, you can upgrade to stone and stuff like that. You can get helicopters, and you know, so there is progression all the way through. Obviously, you have to work to it, and you have to grind to get enough scrap to buy these things. Like I think I could buy a helicopter for like 1,250 scrap. Now, scrap you find in crates and like oil drums and stuff like that. You find scrap in there, or you can collect items that you can then recycle into scrap, and you have to mine your rock. You know, there is a lot of different points to it. Like, you know, if you want to shut up, if you want to,
it's like Reverend Shortland's talking.
Well, I said if you want to get somewhere, you got to go there. But no, like if you want to get fuel for your car, you've got to have a furnace or a refinery to basically refine your crude oil into low grade fuel. So, you know, there's lots of different things.
Can I spawn in the game as a zombie and like stalk around and pick you off one by one?
No, because I will find you and I will kill you.
Oh dear.
There are no zombies in this one, which is good.
I mean, in fairness, Jace, you spawn in naked, so you could literally just run around as a streaker all the time.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But there is no guarantee that you're going to spawn as male or female.
Yes, it is random, which is kind of funny.
Be like my dream all over again.
No, there's no half and half. But yeah, back to Scum. As Game on Scorpio's put, there are zombies called puppets and giant robots patrolling high loot zones. There's a lot of those hardcore kind of hardcore survival games. Like I backed one on Kickstarter called Dead Matter, which is supposed to be the developers have basically pipped it as and they've pipped it as like the most realistic zombie apocalypse survival game out there. There's been some issues with the development team and getting the game out, like the playable game and stuff like that, but I think it's one of those that eventually it will come good, maybe. But one that Game on Scorpio has mentioned in there is Project Zomboid. I don't know if anyone of you guys have tried Project Zomboid.
No, I'm not a fan of these zombies survival games, oddly enough.
Too many zombies, not enough trees. Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much. I just want to axe some trees, no zombies, I think.
I imagine, right, when we go on to play Rust, right, you've got like your dungaree, denim dungarees on. That's it. Obviously, you won't have a top on as well because it's too hot for you.
I
just
did
literally
actually
sat
wear a
there in like
for a while when it was raining, so I didn't get cold. So then I swapped that.
I mean in real life.
Oh, in real life? No, just in my pants.
Just in your pants, yeah.
Oh, gee.
Oh, yeah. I know you can chop down trees in Project Zomboid, but there's too many other things going on to distract Stu from the trees.
I don't want that. I mean, you remember how scared I got of that bear that once?
Oh, yeah, you literally like legged it.
I was like, I just ran up the hill. I was like, bear.
Yeah.
That's not a tree.
Oh my God, there's a bear, come on. Although, Stu, I do have the resources to craft you a chainsaw. Imagine all of the tree.
There would be no trees left on that map.
You'd be like,
yeah.
Most games you'll get through about 4 trees and then you'll have to rebuild the chainsaw, though, won't you?
Yeah.
Because it was made of wood.
It's made of string cheese.
It's actually you've not done a very good job of surviving and you're hallucinating. It's just they're hitting a tree with a stick.
Not even a stick, just like prodding it.
Yeah.
Although on Rust there is a hot air balloon that we went for a ride on.
Oh, you went for a ride on in the end?
We did. Yeah, we went for a little ride on a hot air balloon. Didn't get very far. Didn't have a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
So
That's what happens.
But yeah, I'm just looking through this list of survival games out there, and there are some strange ones on there that I wouldn't have thought is a survival game. Like We Happy Few.
That's a single player story game. Like
it's more of a roguelike, I think. But it does have a survival mode, I believe. So I think it's tangentially related.
Yes.
But yeah, it sort of does a procedurally generated island, and you can do stuff on there. I think it is still only single player, even that. So it is a survival mode, but it's not. I wouldn't call it a survival game necessarily.
Yeah. Then you've got obviously Don't Starve. I don't know if anyone's played Don't Starve. Brilliant game.
That's actually really fun, but it's also really hard as well. It's really hard to do.
Yes.
They released a co-op version of the game.
Don't Starve together. Yeah, that's what I played.
Yeah.
Obviously, because I'm not playing by myself.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, the world was slowly folding in on itself then for a moment.
Yeah, sorry. I should.
The Sims Castaway Stories. I mean, yeah.
I've never played that.
The Sims 2 Castaway.
A couple on the list that stood out to me. PUBG.
Yeah, I suppose in essence that is kind of a survival game because you do have to eat to get your energy back if you get shot.
And the culling, isn't that another battle royale? That's like saying COD Warzone. It's a survival game, isn't it?
But yeah, I suppose by the definition of the game, you are in an open world. I mean, if we go back to the survival games definition with PUBG, I mean, it's set in a hostile. Are you in a hostile environment on PUBG?
Yep, quite.
Is it intense? Is it open world? Do you begin with minimal equipment?
Yes. Sometimes it's not intense. Sometimes it's outside of the tents.
This is true. Yeah, it could be out tents.
It could be
are you required to survive as long as possible by crafting tools, weapons, and collecting resources?
That's every battle royale, isn't it?
I mean, technically, Fortnite is a survival game.
Yeah.
Fortnite, you can even build.
Exactly. You can build a shelter.
You have to get wood to go and build, don't you? Bricks or whatever.
So you go and get the wood, Stu, but then just couldn't be bothered to. You'd be like, "That's my wood. I'm keeping it."
Yeah.
So Apex Legends, famous survival game.
Yeah. Well, that's it, though, isn't it? You know, I mean, it is such a what's the word? Magnanimous? Is that the right word? Ambiguous. That's the one.
Ambiguous. Yeah, that's right.
I want to see what magnanimous.
It's not generous.
I can't even spell it.
I suppose you can say it's
generous or forgiving.
Yeah.
Especially towards a rival or less powerful person. Jason, I am magnanimous towards you.
He's up my magnanimous.
Yeah, I mean, you're not a rival, so you're just less powerful.
Oh! I see you doing the face. I just saw that. You're scaring me with your taunt.
my 2020. One survival game that I've enjoyed recently is Stranded Deep. That kind of it got given for free, I think, on PS Plus recently. It's one where you wake up on a bit of a life buoy, and you have to go to an island and survive and all of that kind of fun stuff, which is quite a good one. 7 Days to Die. I've played a little bit of that. That again is another zombie type one.
I didn't love that one because you'd spend quite a bit of time building quite an extravagant base. Like I managed to get, reinforced concrete walls and this sort of stuff. And then if you made one slight noise, a zombie horde would manage to punch its way through, and you'd be like, what? So it always felt a bit too punishing whenever I've played it. That one I have played a bit. But yeah, I didn't get into that one. Everything was too fragile.
Yeah, I know what you mean about the zombies on that, though. They do seem... there you go. On the 7th night, the hordes would come. On 7 Days to Die.
Like the concept was good. It reminded me a lot of, like, it's almost DayZ with crafting.
Yeah.
In the sense you could build a base and things like that. But yeah, it didn't click with me, that one. I tried it a few times because I think I originally got it when it was early access, and then I sort of dabbled after a few updates and just felt a bit too punishing. So it's probably why Stu doesn't like when there's zombies and stuff around, because it kind of undoes all your hard work, I suppose.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
All right, so here's one for you then. So looking at the basis of all the definitions of so-called Wikipedia,
okay,
where would games such as StarCraft and Command and Conquer go?
That's RTS.
That's real-time strategy.
Real-time strategy.
Is that not survival though?
No,
it's different.
I know you're going to gather resources though.
You're gathering resources. You're building a base.
Yeah.
You're crafting obviously weapons to go out and attack.
So survival games are generally open-ended with no set goals.
I would say in Command and Conquer you can't die because you're a general overseeing the battlefield. Whereas in a survival game, you're in the battlefield.
Stop unpicking me, Jay.
Whereas in RTS games, you're always safe because it's just all your units that die.
Yeah, it's all the little shits.
Even if you lose, you're up on an aircraft carrier or something going, I'm all right.
True, okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So Jason, should I say?
Been told. All right, and fine. Okay, I like Windbound.
You did like Windbound, yeah, that's very good. That
was pretty awesome. But again, that's a single player.
Yeah, but they can be single. Survival games can be single player.
Yeah, I don't think it's open ended, and it is quest driven. But you don't necessarily you get your hand held for like the first moment, and then after that, it's up to you to discover your path and do your resources and food and drink. I mean, having a boat made of grass. With a stove on it, cooking chicken while sailing across the waves was something else, I tell you. But it was an amazing game. Definitely. I enjoyed that one, but that's because I had a goal. I had somewhere to go.
Yep.
Where on some of these open player ones, you just sit down. I'm like, I could go outside and fix my shed or something. Do something for real life.
Yeah, I'm going to blow Stu's mind right now.
Cool.
I'm just going to post a link to a game that I think you will absolutely love. By your love in the game sales and deals chat of the Thumb Culture Discord channel.
Okay. Let's have a look.
I'm having a look too.
Oh, now I'm banging it. Wow.
So for those who aren't in the Thumb Culture Discord, obviously, why not? But also, there we are. I was literally just about to do that. Is the bot not going to...
The bot doesn't seem happy with me right now.
Let me try it.
Wow.
Nope. The bot has left the building. There we go. There we go. Just a bit slow. Oh, and twice. I've just posted a link to Lumberjack Simulator. Whilst it's not a survival game, it is Stu's ideal game, I very truly believe. He can just chop down trees to his heart's content.
Yeah, and you can load them up on like a big truck and
What if
wheel them out. Oh, there's a rock paper shotgun review, and a guy's got a pickup truck with a couple of trees in the back trying to log it away. Well,
Whoa. Don't advertise other people's reviews on our podcast. Jeez.
well, sorry, we haven't done one yet.
Yeah. I think our review, we should just update our Steam curators channel to just say, got trees, good game.
Yep.
Got trees, gold reward.
It's in early access. So how many stuff is still coming?
More trees.
Are you ready to put your forestry logging skills to the test? Sold.
Yeah. She was like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's only 62 reviews on yet, unfortunately. Yeah. I might actually see if we get a... Yeah. I'm going to get that.
You've blown his mind.
Wow. I guess I know what I'm doing after the podcast.
Play by yourself. I'm playing this.
Yeah. Rust.
Rust what?
Yeah, Rust who?
Yes.
But yeah, as we are now coming towards the end of the podcast, as per usual. So if there was a ideal survival game out there, obviously I know Stu's one would just be trees everywhere. What would you like to see, Jason, in your ideal survival game?
I really don't know. Mythical and
Good chat.
There you go. I just ruined you there because you don't like mythical, yeah. But no, mythical and co-op. I like co-op. So.
I just don't see the point sometimes.
Why? What's wrong with dragons?
I'm just not a fan. There's nothing. No, right, dragons. I can live with dragons.
Yeah.
Okay. On what kind of stance are we talking dragons, though? Are we talking like
Game of Thrones?
No, like you got to like raise them up and feed the dragons and stuff like that.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, have your own dragon. Yeah, ride it.
Can I feed them townspeople?
Yes, and you can set fire to cities.
I'm on board.
Good. I like it.
I am 100%.
That's good. Okay.
I'm not mythical. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination gonna say that I enjoy mythical games, because I don't.
That's absolutely fine. We'll all have dragons, and you can have a donkey with a cone strapped to its forehead. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. My donkey will beat your dragon, because good luck trying to chew it down.
I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, you probably would. You monster. Anyway, Jay, survival game, ideal setting. Go.
What about if you had current day Earth with no people? Like, imagine 99% of the people got zapped.
Like Last Man on Earth kind of thing.
Yeah. So, like I Am Legend or Last Man on Earth. So you've got all these structures already, but you don't necessarily find people until you literally get to those people. So imagine if it's just England or UK, not necessarily the whole world, and everything's already kind of there, and you've got to go scavenge for stuff a bit, maybe State of Decay without the zombies, and there's a group of you.
Stuart, be straight down. Greg's.
Yeah. That'll last you 3 days.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
and then it's
Can I go to the world food section of Tesco's and buy all the Twinkies?
Well, you won't need to buy them. You can just loot them.
Well, I mean, I don't want to ruin the economy.
But there isn't an economy, because everyone's
But there might be.
You can be the king of the Twinkie economy.
It won't be how you think. Funny enough, when we worked for Sainsbury's, we actually had the same thought of how long could you live in the supermarket for?
A long time, I reckon.
There's so many. Yeah, the tinned food lasts. It'll outlast you.
Well, you could obviously go to the fresh fruit and vegetables, and you could go to the gardening section. and then the home section, and you could almost like make your own little greenhouse type place.
Yeah.
True. But you'd have to prioritise, obviously, as well.
Prioritise? What's that?
Yeah, like, obviously your fresh goods are going to go first, aren't they?
Yeah, step one.
Yeah, obviously.
Donuts.
Yeah, eat the
Once
donuts.
around with your greenhouse, I've eaten it all. It's gone.
I mean, I'm not going to spend all day every day for like 2 weeks on a greenhouse, am I? I'm literally talking. Get a bucket, get a bag of compost, go brr, 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 get a potato, go and job done. That's your potato plant.
And then you turn around.
That's a day gone.
Yep, and there's no donuts left. Well done. Good work, Stu. Congratulations on your pot of soil
and then
there, mate.
I'll turn around and laugh at you, as you're dying on the floor from eating all of those donuts.
I would die so happy.
And I will use what charge I've got left on my phone from whizzing like some kind of battery power thing to take a picture of you, so that when somebody in the future, in 50, 60 years, finds my phone, there'll be a picture of your head going on it.
See, my problem would be I'd be worried about Welsh Stu.
Why?
Because his section's only like about 2 meters long and 3 shelves.
It's gonna be a lot of walking to get all those supplies.
He can have the fruit and the vegetables.
Don't eat fruit. All right, some veg I'll eat.
He can have his own
you
toilet.
might have to.
Yeah,
you
I know.
might
I
have
might
to.
just have to go.
Too much fibre, mate. Too much fibre.
Yeah, you know, all those potatoes that I'm creating for chips and all the different jacket potatoes and stuff. I'm thinking of our gluten-free compatriots. You know, unlike you, Jason, shove the wheat into my gob.
Yeah, while looking at him with one eye open.
Yeah.
That's your life force, Stu.
Yeah. You know, I just feel sorry for people that would have to live through the apocalypse with you, Jace.
This has taken a very dark turn.
It has, hasn't it? I think, you know, we should have just ended it where it was. I mean, Thumb Culture designs a survival game. It's just based in the local frickin' Asda.
Tesco with infinite donuts.
Yeah, but imagine the fashion shows that we could have.
Yeah, it's Stuart wearing the latest in Florence and Fred.
Here comes Jason in the latest too. Is that one for you, Stu? I don't know. Is it for you, Stu? I don't know, but it's two. You know, just, you know, it'd be so much fun. Then you got the sports section. If it was a Sainsbury's, though, you got Argos.
Yes,
That's true. It's true.
How much stock have they really got? Is it all mythically all behind there and it's like Narnia cupboard?
I really, really would love to go into an Argos and just like push open the doors and it'd just be like, ah. You know, we could play Supermarket Sweep, but in the Argos bit, just like with a code number. I need 341-2122. Go. Like 4 weeks later, we find Jason in the back of like the electrics department, like dead.
Nice.
Well, you know, just saying it how it is, mate. Just saying it how it is. Obviously, I don't wish that happens. You know, and I'm not going to single-handedly try and influence the economy falling and an apocalypse happening. You know, I'm filling in my like electoral roll register right now to try and get on for the next general election. You know,
Stu for mayor.
Yeah, Stu for mayor. Stu for you.
With two.
With two. Stu for you, sponsored by two. Anyway, I think that's enough. We've kind of gone sideways a little bit of this survival game, but I mean, we're still talking about survival. You know,
just surviving what?
Just surviving, yeah, surviving being in the supermarket with Jason.
It'd be fine. As long as you got your Nectar card, get them points.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Imagine, like, you know, my Nectar points would single-handedly break the new economy of Stewsville.
That could be the new economy.
Yeah.
It could be the economy. That's the currency. Nectar points. I like it.
I dig it.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening and doing all those wonderful things to our Thumb Culture podcast. It, as usual, has been a lot of fun. But Stu's off already. Thanks, Stu. Cheers. Thanks for coming.
Just let the cat out. I've got Stu's in here, to be honest.
Just like scratched your leg.
I was like, I can hear something. Oh, shit.
But yeah, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. This will obviously, as usual, go out to all of your podcasting devices and applications. But we will see you again next time. So we will take care. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.